profiling part. Yeah, Lin say yes, but need time to understand the relationship. Okay, takes as much time as you need. Right. I'm not expecting you to understand straight away. You know, in all learning, there's a learning curve. So therefore, when there's a workshop for feng shui, or when there's a refresher for feng shui, do come back. I strongly encourage to join in, so that today we miss out something, but when you come back in the next round, you may pick up something else, something new, that you think you have missed out. Okay, let's quickly move on to module 4, the earlier heaven 8 trigram. So since we have come to realize that all items, all metals exhibit frequencies, whether it's tangible, intangible, living, non-living thing, all of them exhibit frequencies, then we know we can take readings of almost everything inside, outside our house. Whether it's a tree outside, whether it's a barbecue outside, barbecue pit outside, or maybe it's a playground outside, we can take reading and we can see how the items outside or the features outside affect my unit. Okay, because external is very important because it's something that you can't change once it's there. Right? That's like the sunken ship, the playground sunken ship. Once it's there, you can't do anything to it. Right? Okay. So therefore, one thing to note about frequency is that frequency affect one another. Just like you put the plant at the south sector, fire sector, this wood energy is beefing up the fire energy. So, it influence one another, either positively or negatively. So once you learn these skills, you know how to read the impact, good or bad. Okay, that's number one. Number two is assess the impact of the frequency. So if it's wood supporting the fire, then the fire end sector becomes stronger. And therefore, it can invite in all the positive vibes, things that are relating to the fire sector. Okay, so that's called assessing the impact of the frequency. And then next, then you can fine tune the frequency to achieve harmony in the living area, 360 degree. Okay, 360 degree, you can do that very easily. Your bedroom, you can always start with your bedroom and then extend out to your children's room. Okay, and then to the living room, to the kitchen, and then entire house, and then your parents' house, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Now, quick tips here is that even though science know that something about frequency and everything has a vibrational frequency, modern science today does not have the necessary means to identify and classify the frequency emitted out by that item. Don't have. They can only read, this is this hertz, that one is that hertz, megahertz, and whatever hertz, high frequency, low frequency. But they cannot say this high frequency put at this sector, what is the impact? It can't. Modern science don't have this equipment now, don't have this means now, but I Ching has. That's the beauty of I Ching. And it's also an ancient science. Yeah. Okay, so therefore, one way to learn from I Ching how to assess this kind of frequency and the impact is through this module called the Universal Profiling System. Another word is called the earlier heaven 8 trigram. Or I call it the Universal Profiling System. Is as you move on with your metaphysics learning, you find that you have to keep on referring back to this earlier heaven 8 trigram because you use that to profile things. Okay, so what is this universal profiling system about? Since we know energies are absolute forces derived from the yin yang and the fire element, therefore this earlier heaven 8 trigram is a system that incorporates the yin yang and the fire elements and then comes out with a trigram. Say that, this item, okay, it can be represented by this trigram. And since it's represented by this trigram, therefore this item will exhibit the similar characteristics of that trigram. This is what the universal profiling system is best at, called profiling system. And why universal? Because it can be used for any other metaphysics topic. It's the same. Once you learn this, you don't have to relearn. Okay. All right. So where does this earlier heaven 8 trigram comes from? It comes from the yin yang and the fire element. Now let me come in from the yin yang first. There is a I Ching text. It says that 无极生太极，太极生两仪，两仪生四象，四象生八卦，八卦生万物。Basically, what it means is that actually nothing exists first lah. Nothing lah. Nothing. For example, there's no desire, there's no intention, there's no thought. Nothing. Nothingness. Okay, but because you have that desire, that thoughts, something become a single point, a singularity point. And once you have the singularity point, yin and yang straight away comes out. Yin and yang straight away comes out. For example, you want a good job, okay? Singularity, 太极点. Now, when you have this thought, the yin yang comes out. You ask yourself, can I have it? Or I'm not good enough to have it. You see, yin yang comes out already, right? And then from there, depending on where you're inclined to, which side you're inclined to, you will be skewed towards thinking in that direction. So, for example, you've been offered a job, okay, and then you feel that not good enough, you're not good enough to take up that job, you tend to incline towards the in thinking. And therefore, if you're inclined to this in thinking, most of the time you find excuses to reject the job offer. Okay, it goes in this way. So basically, this is how yin and yang works in real life. But for this feng shui thing, and to explain the eight trigram, from nothingness, wuji, to taiji, straight away there's yin yang. Okay, so yang is denoted by a solid line, unbroken solid line. Yin is denoted by a broken line, right? And therefore, once you give birth to yin yang, the yin and yang individually, they will give birth again to yin yang. Okay, so for example, the yang part will give birth to a yin yang again. So this part here, yin part here, will also give birth to yin and yang again. And then after that, the next level, this is called the si xiang. This level here is called the si xiang. From the si xiang, they give birth to yin yang, yin yang, yin yang, yin yang. And this level here is called the Pa Gua. Now, I Ching is very, really, very, very solid in terms of the 思路, the thinking part. Is that when it grows up from there, by right, it can grow further. It can grow further until the 64 gram. But they stop there. Why? Because it is enough to stop at the 3 trigram. Not the 3 trigram, the 8 trigram. Because from 8 trigram, you can profile almost everything under the sun. And once you have this 8 trigram, is Sen Wan Wu. Sen Wan Wu means it can grow into the entire universe. So 何必多此一举 go and give birth some more, give birth some more, give birth some more. No need really. Stop at the third line, the 8 trigram line, and say that, okay, after that, 八卦 Sen Wan Wu. That's it. Short and sharp. Right? But of course, we know technically it can grow further to become the 64 hexagram. But I think that one is the advanced part. But for now, when we talk about earlier heaven 8 trigram, this is the one, the 8 trigram, this is the one. Okay, and the symbol is denoted by yin or yang one. So solid line is yang, broken line is yin. Okay, and then you see the numbering here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 8. So this numbering has a sequence. So this number sequence is tied to each trigram. Okay, tied to each trigram. So therefore, if you want to know about number profiling, for example, 1, the number 1, what is a trigram representing number 1? Straight away, you can look at this chart and say that, 乾卦 represent 1, 对卦 represent 2, 离卦 represent 3, 正卦 represent 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth, right? So straight away, number profiling comes in already. Number profiling, right? Let us look deeper to the next slide. Now, here, this is the trigram. Okay, the 8 trigram. And the number sequence is here, 1 to 8. Now, you can see there are 2 names. This row of name, 乾卦, 对卦, 离卦, 正卦, 巽卦, 坎卦, 艮卦, 坤卦, they are the basic name for each of the trigram. So when we address a trigram, we always use this name to address them. 乾卦啦, 对卦啦, 离卦啦, 正卦啦, 坤卦啦, 艮卦啦, whatever 卦. Okay. Next, then there's also another row here is the arrow. Now the arrow, I will explain more in the I Ching prediction, but probably not here. Okay. But this arrow will tell you the energy directional flow of the trigram. Okay. It's more useful in the I Ching prediction course. Next, there's another row is called the secondary name. Secondary name, we use them only when it is formed in a hexagram manner. Hexagram means 6 line. That means you stack trigram on top of a trigram to form 6 line. You call that a hexagram. When it's in a hexagram format, then we'll use the secondary name to address them. Okay, so for example, 乾卦 by itself in 3-line format, we will use this primary name to address them. So we say that this is a 乾卦. Right? This is a 乾卦. So I'm just telling you the lingo rules, the lingo rules for addressing trigram and hexagram. So by itself, 3-line, we will use a 乾卦primary name to address them. So this is a 乾卦. Now, when we stack them, for example, when we stack them into, like, for example, we use a 正卦, stack them on top of a 离卦, okay? And then together they form a 雷火风 abundance 卦. This become a hexagram. Just like you have a CPU, and then you stack them together with a monitor. Together, they form a new product called computer. But separately, it is called CPU and monitor. Put together is called computer. Same thing. It's almost similar like this. By itself, it is a 正卦 and a 离卦, but put together is called 雷火风 abundance 卦. Okay, and when it's put together into 6-line format, then we will call them using the secondary name. So for example, here it's called 雷火, okay, 雷火, and then followed by the hexagram name. The 风 is the hexagram name. So this is how we address them, yeah? Okay, now I think I will stop here for now, right? I will stop here for now because now it's already 5 p.m. So any quick question from any one of you? Tomorrow, we'll move into module 4, this module, continue the module, and we talk about the profiling. How do we actually use this 8 trigram to profile TV lah, monitor lah, water lah, piano lah, refrigerator, toilet, fish tank, all these things. Lindsay, can you share what is the arrow meant again in the previous slide? Okay, the arrow basically meant the energy directional flow. For example, 对卦 is downward. So the energy directional flow of 对卦 is actually downward moving. Okay, for example, 离卦. Okay, 离卦 is the energy directional flow is upward moving. That's like fire. 离卦 is fire. You see the fire here? Fire. Oh, fire is always upward. That's how we discussed about the south electromagnetic field, right? Always outward and upward. So Li Gua is having the energy of fire, so therefore the energy directional flow is always upward. So take a look at water. Take a look at water, Kan Gua. Water here is downward. Exactly how water behave, always downward, flow downward. Okay, so learning eating, we must understand nature. Right? Understand nature, you understand eating better. You understand 8 trigram better. You understand feng shui better. You understand everything else better because eating is life. Life is us. And we are living the eating way every day without knowing it. Okay, so now is a good time to learn back. Okay, nature. Yeah. And they say too deep, need to digest. Exactly. So I think I better stop here and not bombard you with more things. So do come in tomorrow. Let me flash to the next slide. Let me skip to the ending part there. Skip. Okay. So Darren said the nightmare begin. Ha ha ha. Okay lah, not nightmare lah. Okay. Lin says, so you want to explain the Lei Huo Feng part again, right? No, I won't be explaining Lei Huo Feng part because that part belongs to the advanced module later on. Okay, so I'll just leave it as it is right now. So I just want you to type in the chat box, what have you learned today that you can start using in your life? One quick, simple liner. And this says symbolism. Thank you. Very important topic. Ellen say 5 plus 2 senses. Thank you very much. A lot of us miss out the last senses. Jiao Xuan say trying to remove the officer in the respective sector first. Thank you. So there's something they can do right now. Do it first. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. You can continue typing if you're halfway through. but just listen to me. Tomorrow, next lesson, lesson 2, okay, same time, use back the same link to come in. So if you want to prepare yourself better for tomorrow, you can log into the training portal, or you can log into the community group, look for the courses on the left, go in there, look for home frequency tuning, and you can watch the module 4. Okay, prepare yourself, come in tomorrow. So come in on time, so we can start on time. There are a lot of things to cover under module 4. Like I say, module 4 is a milestone for your learning. Okay, Ken. Okay, so Darren say 不要乱问 wait going to be 心想事成 okay, thank you very much, Darren. All right, so 好好的问 okay, Ken. All right, so if there's no other further question, then I will see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Yeah, okay, thank you, see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Okay, Darren sharing. My client shares with me her whole family CTCM. The doctor says it's strange. The whole family has 燥热 and 湿热, and seems the 热气 didn't dispel. I suspect their shin sector is blocked. It turns out true. After clearing the sector, the condition improved. Whoa, good job. All right. Thanks, Darren, for sharing this, your experience. So why did you pinpoint to Xingguang? You'll see lah. I think it will be interesting to see tomorrow in Singapore. When you go up the bus, how many still wear? How many will stop wearing? Yeah. Yeah, Alan says self gautim already. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Jia Xuan say, Master Yo, may I ask? I have a black metal clothes hanger at Southwest sector, but metal is a child for Southwest sector. The black is a reward for Southwest sector. How should I go about it? Like how to add in parental support? Okay, good question. Now for a clothes hanger, um, is those standing clothes hanger, is it? Or those where you hang the clothes one? Okay, so if it is those standing clothes hanger, Jia Xuan, your yes is standing. Yeah, I take it as your yes is standing. Like hotel kind, couple. Okay, good. So for the hanging a standing metal clothes hanger at Southwest. Now, if you are hanging a lot of clothes, I don't think we can see that metal pole anymore lah. Or for that matter, what color it is also. Right. So my take to you is keep on hanging things there. All right. Uh, hang all your red towel, your yellow, your brown clothing, hang there. And then you make the whole entire hanger looks like that parental support color. Oh yeah, only can see the bottom of the pole. Ha ha ha. Okay, yeah, that's right. So you just decorate lah, so called decorate your hanger with the correct colors. So you don't hang blue clothing, you don't hang green clothing, something like that lah. I think you should be good lah, because after all, the hanger, when there's a lot of clothing, it looks like a hanging storage. So it's a kunkwa. We'll talk about that in today's lesson. Okay, now it's 2:01. Let me see. Did I miss out? Okay, Pepe is asking what is 2 plus 5 plus 2. What is 5 plus 2? I missed that. Can advise 5 plus 2. Let me see. Yesterday, what did we talk that we say about 5 plus 2? Symbolism. Okay, symbolism. We yesterday we talked about symbolism, and we say that we receive symbolism messages through the 5 plus 2 senses. Now the 5 senses, I think we all should know lah. The eye, the nose, the ear, all these are the 5 senses. The plus 2, one is the intuition, and the other one is the common sense lah. So these are the 5 senses lah. 5 plus 2 senses. Is that okay, Pepe? So Jia Xuan says, so make it into a Christmas tree, something like this. Put the right color clothing there, and you get it. All right, so let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to lesson 2 of home frequency tuning. I hope you have a good rest last night. and I didn't overwhelm you with lesson one topics. Huh? So this is what we covered yesterday. Module 1, background of home frequency tuning. Module 2, the I Ching science of home frequency tuning. And Module 3, yin yang and the 5 element. So we also move on to talk a little bit about the earlier heaven 8 trigram. And we stop there. So we'll move on today to talk about the module 4. Okay, so we spend the entire day today to talk about module 4. So this is how important module 4 is. Huh? So do give me your fullest attention. Yeah. And then if you participate more, you learn faster. Yeah. Good afternoon, Lin. Okay, are you ready to get started? Type a yes in the chat box if you are. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Lin. Good afternoon, Lin. Okay, let's move on. Yesterday, we started out a bit about the earlier heaven 8 trigram already. So I hope you all can remember. Now, how many of you can remember the symbol plus the name? There are 8 trigram altogether. Can every one of you remember each trigram, what is the symbol look like, and what is the name that is attached? That means name to the faces. Can you all remember that? Can you all associate? Okay, so not to worry if you can't associate for first timer, because if you keep following us with our classes, you find that knowing the 8 trigram, knowing the name, and knowing what they represent become second nature. Okay, so you don't need any hard memorization. Yeah, and also today I will share with you one easy way to master this module. Huh? Okay, so in I Ching text, there is a collection of I Ching information, yeah, called 易传. This is the word, 易传 here. Where's, oops, sorry. Give me a minute. Let me pull out my pen. Okay, 易传. And within this 易传, there are many modules. Okay, there are many modules, and one of the module is called 说卦传. Now, 说卦传 is very critical for learning this module 4. Right? Called the earlier heaven 8 trigram. So if you really want to interested to learn the classic text, you can go to a library there, borrow 易传, and then drill into the 说卦传. So in one of the 说卦传 module, under chapter 3, there is this verse here. Let me read out to you. It's called 天地定位，三则通气，雷风相搏，水火不相涉. Loosely translated into English, it is like that. Heaven and earth sets the position. Mountain and swamp allow qi to flow. Thunder and wind go hand in hand. Water and fire do not attack each other. Loosely translated, it means this way. So when you talk about, when you look at this verse, straight away we understand how the earlier heaven 8 trigram is being arranged by understanding this text. Okay, so there is something called the earlier heaven 8 trigram. There's something called the later heaven 8 trigram. Both are using the same set of 8 trigrams, but they are arranged in a slightly different manner. Okay, earlier heaven 8 trigram, it is there. It is called earlier heaven, 先天, is because before we have something called life that we are having right now, there's something that is already primordial. Primordial means it's already fixed there. That's why it's called 先天, right? So let's say when you're born with a set of parts, this is your 先天 already. You're born with that set of energy. But 后天, how you turn out to be, how you use that 先天 energy is really up to your 后天. Okay, so that is the difference between 先天 and 后天. So let's talk about this 先天八卦. So 先天八卦, it says that heaven and earth sets the position. And yesterday we already learned the name of the 8 trigrams. So all the names of 8 trigrams are all in the red color one. Heaven, earth, mountain, swamp, thunder, wind, water, fire. So heaven and earth. Heaven is here. And earth is here. Okay, so heaven on top, earth below. This is how our nature is being arranged, right? Heaven is above us, right? Earth is on top of us, right? Under our feet, right? So therefore, heaven and earth sets the position. And once it sets the position, it means heaven and earth don't move anymore, right? It sets the upper limit, lower limit, and from there we operate within the space between the upper limit, lower limit. So therefore, heaven and earth, no movement at all. It fixed there. So that's why it's called 天地定位. Without the 定位, nothing can operate. Nothing can operate. So that means this gives us a very important clue with our life. In our life, with our life, we need to 定位. We need to know how to 定位. 定位 basically means you know who you are and you know what and you should do what you should do. This is called 定位. Okay, so heaven and earth sets a position already. Then mountain and swamp allow the qi to flow. Now mountain is here, swamp is here. So mountain and swamp facing each other, okay, allows qi to flow. Then thunder is here, wind is here, again facing each other. So thunder and wind go hand in hand. And then last but not least, water is here, fire is here. Do not attack each other. Now, there's a lot of old saying that what 水火不容, 水火不容, and that means water and fire cannot go together. And yet in this text here, it says 水火不相射. That means when water and fire come together, they don't attack each other. That's funny, right? It's either our old folks tell us the wrong thing or I Ching is recording all the wrong thing. Which one do you think? All right. So after studying I Ching for so long, then I realized that really, when our ancestors write out all these texts, they really got more sui. They really know what they are writing about. Water and fire do not attack each other. Okay, do not attach each other. And in fact, they are two sides of the same coin. They are two sides of the same coin. That's like this year energy, not this year energy. Last year energy, the annual 2022 energy is a 季季卦. 季季卦 is a water on top of a fire energy. This is really a tug of war within water and fire, but they do not really attack each other. They just complementing each other. Okay, so not to worry too much about the intimate information about water and fire and things like that, but I'm just telling you this text so that you can understand how the earlier heaven A trigram is being arranged. You find that it goes in pair, and then each pair they will face each other. Okay, they will face each other. So this is in a perfect balance. But in the current world, we are not living in a very perfect world. So therefore, we need to tweak this arrangement into later heaven A trigram, which we will talk about in module 5. But this module is dedicated only to module earlier heaven A trigram. Okay, so once we know about this one, then we can drill in further into 说卦传. Okay, 说卦传, and then see and learn each trigram, what can they be representing? Because yesterday we talked about 八卦生万物. 生万物 means from 八卦 you know everything in the universe already. So therefore, once you know everything in the universe means everything, any item, individual item actually can be profiled into one of these 8 trigrams. And therefore, when we see item, right, we don't see them as an item by itself. We see them as a trigram. After today, believe me, after today, when you look around your living room or your bedroom, you start seeing trigrams. Instead of a TV, instead of a toilet, instead of a lamp, you see trigrams. Okay, so if you can do that, if you can finally see items as trigram, whoa, your module 4 pass with flying colors. Okay, because straight away you're able to do profiling. Oh, this is Li trigram. Oh, this is Kan trigram. Oh, this is Zheng trigram. Something like this. So as a good practice, yeah, you can do that. When you see a TV, ask yourself what trigram is that. When you see a kettle, ask yourself what trigram is that. Can you do that for yourself? Okay. Now, to learn profiling, one way is to read the Yi Zhuan, Suo Gua Zhuan. Okay, Yi Zhuan, Zhi Suo Gua Zhuan. Zhi Suo Gua Zhuan means in under the Yi Zhuan, look out for the module called Suo Gua Zhuan. Yeah. So in chapter 4 of the Suo Gua Zhuan, it says 雷以动之，风以散之，雨以润之，热以恒之，耿以致之，兑以缩之，乾以均之，坤以长之. You see that the trigram name is all in the first of each phrase. Okay. Okay, except for this 热, huh? It is actually 离卦 lah. Okay, but loosely translated under chapter 4, it says the thunder strikes, the wind disperses, the rain nourishes, the sun shines, the mountain halts, the swamp sing, the force is in control, the earth hides. Wow, how to memorize? How to memorize the thunder strikes? The thunder is which trigram? And why is thunder striking? And then why the wind disperses? And then why the rain nourishes? And then why the swamp sings? It's all there. Okay, it is true. The swamp sings. All right, but how can we memorize all this? And because we don't understand why the swamp sings or the mountain halts, therefore it's very hard to understand earlier heaven a trigram for a lot of I Ching practitioners. So it is very difficult, meaning we are learning it the wrong way already. Okay, not to worry. Today I'm going to show you the easier way. Okay, easier but effective way. Next, in chapter 7, it also says that no 乾见也、坤顺也、震动也、巽入也、坎咸也、离利也、庚子也、兑缩也。Loosely translated in English, 乾 is the force, kun follow, 震 shakes, 巽 enter, 坎 sings, 离 shy, 庚 stops, 兑 speaks, 庚 stops, mountain halts. Seems to be similar. Okay, so again, it's a bit mouthful. It's hard to memorize. I'm just showing you how other people learn, ancient people learn, and how cumbersome that learning can be. Okay, in chapter 9, 乾为首，坤为父，震为足，巽为骨，坎为耳，离为目，艮为手，兑为口。Loosely translated, 乾 represent the head, kun represent the stomach, 震 represent the leg, xun represent the buttock, kan represent the ears, li represent the eyes, geng represent the hand, dui represent the mouth. So this chapter seems to be telling us trigram, which trigram represent which body parts. Okay, for this chapter. Now in chapter 10, 第10章，乾天也 ，OK， 故称乎父，坤地也，故称乎母。哇，mouthful. Let me read in English lah. Chapter 10, 乾 represent the father, kun represent the mother, 震 represent the eldest son, xun eldest daughter, kan second boy, li second girl, geng third boy, and dui the third girl. So in chapter 10 is telling us which trigram represent which family member. Right? So is it difficult for you? I think it is. All right. Because when I first started learning, when I look at this 说卦传, I was having a pail beside me because as I read, I have to vomit blood. So I don't think learning should be that difficult. So if I were to ask you, is there an easier way to learn? And if there is, would you like to learn? Okay, if you would like to learn, type a yes in the chat box right now. Thank you, Lin. Thank you, Jia Xuan. Thank you, Andy. Okay, there's an easier way to learn. I'm going to show you how. Thank you, Jennifer. So pay attention, yeah? Pay attention. All right. You see, the thing to take note is that number one, I Ching is all about nature. Okay, all about nature. So I Ching always mirror against nature, right? So therefore, if we want to understand the trigram, we look at nature. That's number one. We look at nature, we understand nature. For example, yesterday we talked about kan gua. We say it's water. So water, the energy directional flow is always downward nature. Next, 卦象. 卦象. Why Chinese always call this as 卦象? Okay, 卦象. Now, 卦象 basically mean this 象 means 这个卦像什么? Okay, 像什么? So it's always like this one looks like this one, that one look like that one. So it's like 归类. We're trying to say 归类. If this one can means like that, then the other thing that looks like this can also be this trigram. Something like that. Okay, that's why in some old folks will keep telling us to say that, oh, you want to 补肾, then eat more kidney beans, right? Or cashew nut, right? Or 要补脑, go and eat pig brain, right? So they 以形补形. Something like that. Okay, so let us drill in further. Let me clear the ink. So let's take a look. As a beginner, let's take a look at this 乾卦 and 坤卦. Okay, 乾卦 and 坤卦. Now look at the 乾卦first on the left. 乾卦, this one. This 乾卦, it comprises 3 solid line, unbroken solid line. And yesterday we already noted that a solid line means yang, a broken line means yin. Okay, so 乾卦, it has 3 solid unbroken line, meaning it is yang, yang, yang. So if I were to ask you, in a family context, which family member do you think can be represented by this super yang energy? Type in the chat box. Which family member do you think can be holding on to this 乾卦 energy? Jia Xuan say father. Okay, any more answers? Do you agree? The rest, do you agree? It is 乾卦 can means father, or father actually can hold on to this 乾energy because in the family member, the one who's holding absolute yang power should be the father. Okay, so therefore, Jia Xuan is correct. In the family setup, 乾卦 can represent father, right? Then 坤卦, look at 坤卦. 坤卦is 3 broken line. And we know broken line is yin. So if 3 broken line in the family setup, which family member do you think can hold on to this 坤卦 energy? Type in the chat box. Which family member can hold on to this 坤卦 energy? That means the extreme yin energy of a family setup. Anyone? Mother. Thank you. Mother. So therefore, straight away, if we want to look at the context of family setup, we know 乾卦 father, 坤卦 mother. So and sharp. Okay. Now, next, how about in an organization, in your company? Think about the company that you are working in right now. In a company, which appointment holder can be represented by a 乾卦? Type in the chat box. CEO, depending on what designation the organization is using. Some use CEO, some use president, right? Some use what else? And they say any superior. Okay, as long as it's your boss, you can use that as a 乾卦. But if let's say you put all the bosses together, then there will be a hierarchy. Then if you put them together when there's a hierarchy, then the number 1 up the line, that one will be the 乾卦. The rest will follow other trigram, which we'll talk about later on. Okay, so Jia Xuan say is HOD counted to within the department? Yes, then HOD, the head okay, the head of department is the 乾卦. But if let's say you want to compare among all the department, are all the HOD 乾卦? I would say no, because above them there is a CEO. So therefore, CEO is the 乾卦. The HOD will be some other trigram, which we'll talk about that later on. Okay, so therefore, in organization, yes, then the boss, I put it generic now. The boss is the 乾卦. Kun Kwa will be the customer or the employee. That means the other end of the spectrum. So in the family setup, the father is at one end, the other end will be the mother. In an organization, boss is at one end, then the customer or employee will be at the other end. Kun Kwa. Okay. How about country? Name me a Qian Gua and name me a Kun Gua with regard to a country context. In a country, is there any appointment holder that can be called a Qian Gua? Or is there someone in the country that can be called a Kun Gua? Remember, it's 2 extreme end. Lin say, head of country, state, citizen. Thank you very much. Lin, you got it right. So the one holding on to power is Supreme Yang. That one would be the head of state. So depending on the structure of the country, some call it as king, some call it as emperor, some call it as president, some call prime minister, some call sultan, some call chancellor. Up to them lah. But the one holding on to the executive power, 乾卦. Okay, and then the other end of the spectrum, 坤卦, will be the citizen. So usually you see that,乾卦, there's only one line, two line, three line. You look at 坤卦, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 strokes. 乾卦, 3 strokes. You look at, if you can refer back to yesterday's slide, among all the 8 trigram, which trigram has the most stroke? That's how we counted already. 乾卦 got 3 strokes, 坤卦 got 6 strokes. Look at the other 6. Is there any trigram that has more strokes than 坤卦? Type in the chat box if you can find one. Is there? Which trigram has the most strokes? 坤卦. Okay, Jia Xuan say don't have. Okay, 正卦. Now, 正卦, Andy say 正卦. 正卦, let's count. 正卦. 正卦 is 1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 stroke, 4 stroke, 5 stroke. 5 stroke only. 1 stroke lesser than 坤卦. All right, so 坤卦is still the one that has the most strokes among the 8 trigrams. So therefore, we can also say that 坤卦means masses. Masses. All right, for example, customers, employees, masses. Citizens, masses. Right? Okay. All right, so nature, in terms of nature, can you name one that is 乾卦 and one 坤卦? I think this is no-brainer. I can give you the answer straight away. 乾卦is heaven on top. 天地定位嘛，乾 on top. Okay, and the earth that we're standing on is 坤卦. Also heaven and earth. So that's why the secondary name for this 乾卦is called heaven. And the secondary name for this 坤卦is called earth. Right? No brainer. Okay, so therefore, the way our ancestors name the trigrams, okay, they have a logic behind it. They always mirror back nature. Right? So having said that, straight away we are able to understand straight away, okay, without memorizing anything, 乾卦, 坤卦, and what they can represent. Am I correct to say that? Straight away, without memorizing anything, by common sense. You can say that, okay, in family, 乾卦is father, 坤卦is mother. Organization, boss is 乾卦. Customer is 坤卦. Country, head of state is 乾卦. Citizen is 坤卦. Nature, heaven is 乾卦. Earth is 坤卦. No brainer. Straight away, 2 trigrams solved. Lin say, so 天地定位 refers to 乾卦. Yes, 天 refers to 乾卦. 地 refers to 坤卦. And when these two together, they form 天地定位. That means if you want the world to operate, the 乾卦 and the 坤卦must be in position first, must be 定位 first. Then the rest can operate. Then we can move around, make our choices, live our way the way we live within the space. Okay. So having said that, we have cleared the father and mother. How about other family members? Are you interested to know how to determine the other family members? Type a yes in the chat box if you are. Thank you, Lin. So how many of you already know your trigram? Thank you, Jia Xuan. How many of you already know what trigram you are? Thank you, Andy. Okay, so if you are a father, you are 乾卦. If a mother, you are 坤卦. But if you are not married yet or married without kids yet, then what is your trigram? Okay, why is it important? It's very important because each trigram represents a sector in the house. So if you want to protect yourself, protect that sector, right? So I'm now giving you a precursor first. Why is this so important? Okay, let's move on. Let's first of all learn how to assign trigram to the daughters. Because in the family, beside father, mother, there's only son and daughter. So there's no third category in between, right? Son and daughters only. Okay, so let's take a look at daughters first. So there is a secret behind all these things is yin sen yang, yang sen yin. So if male is yang, female is yin, then yin sen yang, yang sen yin, right? So in order to derive the daughter's trigram, daughters is yin, then we know that it is yang sen yin. Okay, yang sen yin, yang give birth to yin. So therefore, to derive the daughter's one, we have to make use of the 乾卦 DNA. We make use of the 乾卦 DNA. Okay, I mean the energy lah, not DNA lah. Let me struck it off. Okay, 乾卦energy to derive the daughter trigram. How to derive? Very easy. All right. So for example, eldest daughter first. All you need to do, let me clear the ink. All you need to do is 乾卦, first daughter, okay, all the all the trigram, how they grow, they always grow from the bottom up. From bottom up. Okay, from bottom up. If there's 1, 2, 3, a number like that, so the trigram will always grow from 1, 2, 3. Bottom up. Just like if you plant a seed underground, the seed will always grow from bottom up. Follow nature. Eating always mirror nature. Yeah. So therefore, if the first one to be born, the first daughter to be born, we have to change the bottom line of the 乾卦. That's like this one. Change the bottom line. How to change is bottom line is yang. You flip the polarity to yin. Okay. Once you flip the polarity to yin, this is what you get. Okay, for eldest daughter called 巽卦. So right now, if you're the eldest daughter, then your trigram is 巽卦. Okay. Now for second daughter, then you move up one notch, meaning first daughter born already, right? So now go to the second line. Okay, second line change. So second line change is yang line change to yin line. So once you change the second line, it become a li gua. So second daughter is represented by li gua. Third daughter will be go up again one notch. That means the third top line change from yang to yin. Once you change from yang to yin, this trigram is called 对卦. So 对卦 can represent the third daughter or the youngest daughter. So that means in the family setup, if you are the youngest daughter, you are 对卦. Okay. Now, if you are the eldest daughter and you are the only daughter also, so that will make you the eldest and the youngest daughter. So in that sense, if you're the only daughter, then you are a 巽卦 with a supplementing 对卦. Get that? That's why I put there a third or youngest. Can you follow me? So that is for the daughters. Okay, for the daughters. For the son, very easy. Son is yang, and based on the formula, yin will sen the yang. Yin will give birth to the yang. So to get the son trigram, we will have to pull it out from the kun gua, the mother gua. So do the same thing. Do the same thing. First son, change the first line, bottom line. Second son, change the second line. Third son, change the top line. Okay, and once you do that, the elder son will be called zhen gua. Second son will call the kan gua. Third or younger son will call geng gua. Now, if you happen to be the only son, you are both the elder son and also the younger son. Follow me? Okay. So right now, can I ask you, all of you, just type in, give me a feedback. Do you already know your trigram? Just give me a feedback. Do you already know your trigram based on this? Lin say Li Gua. Okay, good. So Lin know she's Li Gua. Okay, the rest, do you already know your trigram already? Andy say it's basing on our direction, right? Not on your direction, but based on your family ranking. Based on your family ranking right now, are you the elder son, father, second son, or mother, or third son or third daughter? Then based on that ranking, find your trigram. Jia Xuan say Li and Dui for me previously, but now married with no kids. Which one do I change to? Good question, Jia Xuan. So previously, before married, you are second daughter and also the youngest daughter. So you are Li Gua Dui Gua, right? Now, without after marriage but no kids yet, then you are not considered a mother. Can you see here? I type there mother. Okay, you are married, no doubt. You are a wife, but you are not a mother yet. So what do you think, Jia Xuan, based on this definition? And they say, yeah, qian and geng. Okay, if you only hold on to one rank, if you're promoted to become a father, you have to drop your previous ranking. So let's say previously you were the third son, for example, based on Geng. Previously a third son, now you're married and you have kids you're on your own, then you get promoted to become a father. Therefore, you hold on to the Qian Gua. You no longer be the Geng Gua. So Jia Xuan, yes, you are still the Li and Dui Gua until you get yourself promoted to become a Kun Gua. Get that? So Andy, you got that? The rest, you know your own trigram. Okay, can I take it all your know your own trigram? Because this is how you can enhance yourself straight away. Straight away. Okay. I'll show you how to enhance later on in the various modules. All right. So do take note what is your trigram, and this is one trigram that if it goes lousy, in your house, if this trigram sector get affected, you get affected. Yeah. So Lin says, so to clarify, here it means yin convert to yang energy. Is it convert the right word to use? Give birth ba. Not say convert, but give birth ba. Sen in Chinese called sen sen. Yin sen yang, yang sen yin. Give birth lah. Okay, so good. Now that you have understood your own trigram, you have identified your own trigram, that's good. Bear this in mind. Very critical information. Next, let's do some practices. Now imagine, okay, before practices. Now, if let's say you have a big family, look at your own family, your own paternal family, your own family, you may have your siblings. Okay, you may have your siblings. Now, let's say how you rank the boys and the girls is like that. You have to separate them. Boy line up one side, girls line up one side. And after you segregate them, after you line them up, then the elders will follow this. The elders will follow this. Okay. Elders 正卦, kan 卦, then followed by 对卦. Then for the girls, same thing. Elders will be the 巽卦, Li 卦, 对卦. Okay. Segregate them, line them up, then you assign the trigram. This is how we do it. So let's go for a short practice here. Example, this is a family setup. It comprises a father, a mother, and then first child is a son. Okay, first child is a son. Second child is a daughter. Third child is again a son. Right? So I want you to assign trigram. Assign trigram to this family. Okay, so type in the chat box, for example, 乾卦, then comma, 坤卦, then comma, followed by what卦, what卦, what卦. Assign trigram for these 5 family members. Type in the chat box. Okay, Lin say 乾卦, 坤卦, 震卦, 巽卦, 坎卦, 艮卦. Very good. Very good. Fast. Very good. There you go. Okay, the rest who are typing halfway, do you have the exact answer like Lin? Okay, Lin, can I add on some more? For the second child, which is the daughter, would you like to calibrate your answer again? For the second child, which is the daughter, do you want to recalibrate your answers? Thank you very much. 训 and 对. Now, what it means here, why is it that, how come some family members may have two trigram based on what we understood? Because the third or the youngest, they can have one more trigram. So what it means here is that, for example, for this family setup, if let's say, 艮卦, okay, 艮卦, this sector is affected, badly affected. Straight away, we know this second son is going to be affected. Elder son may be spared. Okay, elder son may be spared, but the second son may be affected, even though second son is a 坎卦. You get my point, yeah? So this is how we are able to do some prediction when we do feng shui audit. Jia Xuan say 乾卦、坤卦、震卦、巽卦、兑卦、坎卦、艮卦. Correct. Very good. Very good. Okay, good. Okay, good. So this is what we do. We separate out the boys one side, the girl one side. Then we do the ranking and then we assign. And then last but not least, remember the youngest one always assign the youngest trigram at the same time. So the youngest will have two trigram to play with. Question? Any question? Look at your own family setup. If you have your own family already, are you able to assign trigram to each of your own family already? Your husband, yourself, or your wife, yourself, your children, are you able to assign them trigram already? If you are you don't have kids, okay, or you are not married yet, look at your own family also, your siblings. Are you able to assign trigrams for them? Everybody good with me? Type okay or yes with me. Andy say 乾坤巽艮 for you. 乾坤巽艮. Okay. Andy, I assume you are a father right now. So you have yourself, your wife, and you have a daughter and a son. Is that correct? Okay. Now let's use. If you don't mind, Andy, can I use that as an example for discussion? Is that okay for me? Okay, thank you. All right. So let me pull out a blank screen. So for Andy, father, mother, and then daughter, and then son. Okay, I need the rest of you to help me here. Assign trigram for this family setup. Type in the. Okay, Lin came back. Pepe also came back. Let's take a look at Pepe one. Pepe say 乾卦、坤卦、巽卦、兑卦, and then 震卦、艮卦. Lin also say 乾卦、坤卦、巽兑、震艮. Very good. So 乾卦, this is no brainer. 坤卦, no brainer. Eldest daughter, so it's 巽卦 plus, because it's the only daughter, so it's 兑卦also. Son, although it's second in the ranking, but it's the only son. Remember, I say segregate the boy one side, girl one side, and then you rank them. So if after segregating, the son is standing alone on one side, so therefore he should be considered the eldest son, yet the only son. So therefore, eldest son is Zhen. Only son means also the youngest, so it's also called Geng. Okay, good. So Andy, this is your answer. Okay, this is your answer for your family setup. Clear? All right. So when you next time you do your own feng shui audit, every year do your own audit. Okay. So you find that outside suddenly Xun Gua, there's some constructions going on, some road works going on, suddenly there's a barbecue pit being set up at the Xun Gua. Then you probably will know which family member for the next year, may face some issue and things like that. Okay. So then you should go in and enhance the sector. So Alan say, if live with father-in-law, would I be under Qian? Okay, So Alan, for yourself, if you are already a father and you're living it with your father-in-law, it means in that family household there will be 2牵挂, 2牵挂 because you are a father, your father-in-law is also a father. So there are two fathers in the household. So 2牵挂. So if let's say 前 sector is affected, then either you or your father-in-law or both might be affected, depending on who is the weaker link. Clear? Okay. Now I have one question here. What if it's the fourth child or the fifth child? Now you can rarely see fourth child, fifth child lah. But back last time when I was younger, my you know my parents' time, fourth child, fifth child, very common. Okay, very common. Yeah. So what happens if it's a fourth child, fifth child? So the answer should be fourth child, fifth child onward. Anything crosses three. Anything crosses three, for example, four, fifth, six, seven, eight, all the way. They become digit. They become digit. So fourth child, whether it's son or daughter, use 正卦. Fifth son or daughter, 巽卦. Sixth son or daughter, 坎卦. Seventh son or daughter, 艮卦. Then followed by 坤卦. Then in number 9, you recycle back. Okay, number 9, 10, here lah. Number 9, 10, 11, 12. Just recycle back. They become a digit. Can ah? Okay, next. Married couple without kids, like Jia Xuan right now, got married, but no kids yet. So they will still hold on to their original family ranking. Okay, original family ranking until you get promoted. So grandparents, like what Alan's case, staying with parent-in-law. So there will be 2牵挂 in that household. Clear? Question. Are y'all good with me? If yes, type in the chat box yes or okay. I'm good. Anything. That's the feedback. Thank you, Jia Xuan. Thank you, Andy. Okay, let's move on. All right. So now we, straight away, we have clear profiling for the 8 trigrams for family members. Straight away, happy family. All right. But on the same token, we can also use this 8 trigram to go and profile or to go and represent many other things. For example, relationship in an organization. We already just now earlier on we already noted 乾卦 is the boss, 坤卦 is the customer or the employee. How about the rest? For example, HOD, assistant manager, deputy CEO. What are their trigram? Okay, and then in your corporate, in your company that you're working with, what is your trigram? Do you know? Is it because in the house there's one trigram, in the company that you're working with there's another trigram. So do you know? Okay. So again, it can also represent different parts of a human body. It can also represent color, shapes, 5 element, and many other things. That's why it's 八卦生万物. Almost every other thing in this universe that you see can be profiled into one of these 8 trigrams. That's why just now I said, after today's lesson, probably when you go around, see items in your living room or in the bedroom, you no longer see TV as a TV, you see as a trigram. Okay. Now, everything that's yesterday we mentioned about everything exhibits a vibrational frequency. So we want to be able to measure their vibrational frequency and then profile them into one of these 8. So instead of looking at so many items, when we do feng shui audit, we are looking at trigrams. We are just looking at trigrams. Oh, this is a li gua. Oh, this is a zheng gua. Oh, this is a kan gua. Something like this. Because you already know, we'll be learning kan gua, what energy it is, xun gua, what energy it is. Okay, can xun gua go into a northwest sector? All these things you will learn. But this is what we do. So we simplify the assessment methods. Instead of remembering, TV is this energy, flask is this energy, monitor is this energy. No, you just remember 8 energy can already, 8 basic type of energy. Okay, now how to do this funneling? How to do this profiling? That is the trick behind it, which I'm going to share with you, that will make your learning of earlier heaven 8 trigram, so much easier. I'm going to share with you few methods that I'm using that many of my other students are also using. So you try to use it for yourself. Yeah. Okay. Number one, it's called association of ideas. Okay, association of ideas. Now, association of ideas very simple. When you see something like, like this one, I'll give you an example. 乾卦. We already know 乾卦is 3 solid line, is supreme, superpower. Okay, supreme superpower because super young, right? It can be father, can be boss, can be president, so it's got power, superpower. So can we say that 乾卦, Superman can also be a 乾卦? Super dad can also be a 乾卦, right? So if let's say a father can be a 乾卦, then to a country, the king can be a 乾卦also, right? This is called association of ideas. Keep on associating. Then if king for human is a king, is a supreme power, is a king. Then for animal kingdom, lion is a 乾卦. In a superhero, then Superman could be a 乾卦because he's the leader of the Justice League, right? So what else? What else? So now I need you, if you want to learn faster, do participate, because the more idea that you can think of and share, the more all of us can learn together. Okay, so using this as I already started out this association, this trigger of association. So I want you to use your own imagination now. Type in the chat box, what else can you associate with for 乾卦? Type in the chat box. What else? If you can think of one, type one. You can think of two, type two. The more, the merrier. And then if you have a pen and paper beside you, quickly write it down. What people share, write it down. Then that become your library. Anyone? Associate further. Thank you, Jia Xuan. The head, the brain. Very good. Very powerful. The head, the brain. Okay. Some more? Religious figure. Very good. Anyone? It could be like, for example, the supreme being. Supreme being for any religious, the supreme being, that could be a 乾卦, right? Jia Xuan says stubborn personality, very good because it's 3 solid, right? Nothing can come in, so very stubborn. Okay, very good. Gold, very good, very precious. Or everybody chill, okay, gold, very good. So this is one way to expand your vocabulary for 乾卦. Okay, it's called association of ideas, right? So let me go on to the next method. It's called imaginary. Imaginary. Now, where does this imagery come from and how effective is this imagery? Let me share this with you. In the past, in ancient time, when the founder of this I Ching, when they started to collate this kind of information, there is no such thing called language. Okay, there's no such thing called language. There's no such thing called Chinese characters. They only do all their barbaric hand language, hand sign, and then drawing and things like that on the stone and in the cave, things like that. So they use a lot of drawings to try to present their ideas, what they want to say. Okay, so therefore symbolism, right? Symbolism. Let's take an example of this trigram, 坎卦. Now, when you look at this symbolism, does it look like the water symbol? This 坎卦 look like this, a wave. Okay, so in the past, this is how people convey messages. They use symbols and they draw as close to the actual thing as possible, right? So therefore, up to today, this is still valid because the concept that goes behind this symbolism is there. So therefore, if let's say this 坎卦has the image of water, then again you throw back to the association of ideas, say that, oh, if this can represent water, then what can I associate with further? Fish, because fish live in the water. Fish cannot live without water. And then in modern days, it could be the basin. Okay, and it also could be ships because ships travel by the water. And then what else? Okay, what else? Then you keep on going. So 坎卦, what else can you think of? So we always use one method and then we throw back to the association of ideas so that we can expand the vocabulary. Anyone else can think of 砍挂? Looks like water. Then, so rain can be 砍挂, flood can be 砍挂, trap can be 砍挂. Very good. Trap can be a 砍挂. So with that, let me move on to the next method. I call it as an imaginary plus. Imaginary plus meanings you look at 砍挂 here. There's an opening on top. There is a opening at the bottom. Now, this opening can mean like a pothole on the road. So if you accidentally drop into the pothole, you get trapped inside. So this, if you relate this, associate this, it could be like a trap like that, no? That's like this one, like a trap. So when you use this method, you say, oh, 砍挂 can means like a trap. Then therefore you use back the association of ideas, can say, oh, since it's like that, it could mean danger also. It could mean a scam. It could mean a burglar. It could mean a thief or robber, right? Or it could also mean sick. So this is how you expand. Instead of going and memorizing the 说卦传, okay, this is how you can use logic and common sense to go and do the profiling. Okay. Last but not least is to use a combination of all these three, which I've shown you just now. Whenever I use one, I always go back to association of ideas. When I use imaginary plus, I go back to the association of ideas. Because association of ideas allow us to expand even further. Anybody lost here? If you are still good with me, can you type some feedback in the chat box? Jia Xuan say, Khan looks like people who knows a lot but act blur. Very good. Very good. So Khan, thank you, Jia Xuan, for pointing this out. Let's say this Khan. Outside is broken. The two outside, the top is broken, bottom is broken, right? Sorry. Okay. On top is broken, bottom is broken. Or broken, it can also mean like it's soft. It's soft, but inside is hard, got substance one. So that means on outside, actually a kan person, for example, talking about kan person, that means a kan person on the outside will show you the soft part of himself. But inside, actually got substance one. Okay, got substance one. So this kan gua can means smart. Okay, smart or knows a lot but don't want to tell. Okay. So in a word, in a way, if it's positive aspect of it, then this person is smart lah. If a negative aspect of it, then 砍卦 could mean scheming. Okay, scheming. 讲一套说一套 scheming. Lin say imaginary with symbol and imaginary itself confusing. They seems to mean the same. Yes, they means the same. Okay, they can mean the same, but then the imaginary plus, okay, the imaginary plus is used more 想象力 creativity. For example, this 砍卦. Okay, this 砍卦. If you use a image, you may not be able to think that what if somebody drop inside the hole. For example, a 乾卦. Okay, compared to a 坎卦. When you shine a light at a 乾卦and when you shine a light at a 坎卦, what do you think will happen to the light, Lin? Based on this imaginary plus. All right, no problem, Lin. I'll repeat. Take a look at, let me pull out a clean sheet. Take a look at this 乾卦 and take a look at this 坎卦. Now, if let's say I were to go and shine a light at a 坎卦 and a 乾卦, what do you think will happen to the light? What do you think will happen to the light that get shine into a 乾卦 and get shine to a 坎卦? Can reflects. Sure? Can reflects? Or Andy say 乾 reflect. So which one is correct? Can reflect or 乾 reflect? Okay, can is water. Yes, can is water. That's right. So can will absorb light. Water reflects. All right. So actually, by if you look at this trigram, water don't really reflect. Actually, water get refracted, not reflected. Okay, it's actually refracted. Let me clear the ink. Okay, it get refracted. So it's not reflected, but a 乾卦 reflect. Okay, 乾卦 reflect. So therefore, if a 乾卦when shine a light, it get reflected. You just do association of ideas. What is it in your house right now can reflect one? What item in the house right now can reflect, has the ability to reflect? Mirror. Thank you. Thank you. So you see, if you go around a house and you see a mirror, you're actually seeing a 乾卦because mirror behaving like a 乾卦, it reflects light. Now, color. Let's talk about color. What color reflect lights? Glass window. Thank you. Now, depend on glass window is see-through one, then the light will just go through. Okay, if you see through glass window, then the light will just go through. It's not reflecting. Now, if it's a shiny window, then that shiny part is reflective. Right? So between colors, what colors reflect light? White. Thank you very much. See, straight away, based on these kind of methods to do profiling, you don't have to memorize a lot of things actually. You just need a bit of common sense and logic. If mirror reflect light is 乾卦, then color white reflect lights is 乾卦 also. Then so white is also a 乾卦. So what other color reflect lights? Items that glitters, right? Items that glitters, right? So what item glitters? Silver, metal. Thank you, Lin. Gold. All right. So any material or any item that can reflect light one, straight away you know that material or the color is 乾卦. Now, on the flip side, look at Kankwa. Kankwa, it is absorbed. It is absorbed because there's this hole here. So when you shine a light, the light will just go straight in and then get trapped there. What color absorbs light? Thank you, Lin. Black. See? No brainer, right? Is it easier to learn profiling this way? How do you feel? Type a feedback in the chat box. How do you feel? Is it easier to learn profiling this way? All right. So let me move on. So I think I use this example to explain to Lin the difference between imaginary symbolism and imaginary plus. Okay, imaginary symbolism is just like looking at that trigram, what it looks like. No brainer. What it looks like? It looks like water. It looks like what? It looks like hard rock. Things like that. But imaginary plus need a little bit of creativity. For example, what if I shine a light there? What will happen? What if I do this? What will happen? If I walk past that hole and I drop in, what will happen? Things like that. So need a bit of creativity and common sense. So that's why I call it as imaginary plus. Is that okay, everyone? All right. So if you have no further question, before we get into trigram by trigram, we'll make use of this lesson today, the entire lesson today, to go through one by one all the 8 trigrams and what they can represent. So I want to make use of this lesson to expand your vocabulary. So this will be a milestone learning. And once you can cross this, right, I'm not expecting you to be an expert in profiling, but at least you know how to do your own profiling. Take some time, although, but at least you know the way and the method and the easier way to do it. Okay, we'll go through all the 8 of them. After that, then tomorrow, next week, then we'll come back for the later heaven trigram. Yeah. So before we go into that, now it's already 3:04. Shall we go and take a short break? Let me go to the break slides. Okay, now this book, this ebook here, I call this the Universal Profiling System. I think no brainer now. You all should know what is this book is containing about. This ebook is a good companionship book for you to learn the earlier eight trigram and also know what is the logic and thinking behind how come Kanqua can also mean trap, how come Kanqua can also means a scheming person and things like that. You know, all this is all documented in this ebook. So I thought this would be a good companion book for you. Okay, so you can scan the QR code to get the your digital copy, and you can save it in your handphone. Okay, so Pepe say, I have the old ebook. Is there new content added? No, no new content added yet. But I think it's time for